All right, what is going on, Banter fam? Welcome into Tuesday's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to dive deep into the gaming markets today. And as we're seeing, some of these projects that we talked about yesterday are doing very well. We have Galaxy Fight Club up 40% since yesterday's show, and it is definitely still a small market cap. So very good to see some uptrends in the market for gaming. But today we're going to focus on a couple of news pieces as well as some gaming guilds. So guilds are a huge part of the play to earn economy, enabling scholars and players to actually use assets that are not necessarily theirs and allow asset owners to lend out their assets to be earned with in the game. These guild economies are going to be huge in play to earn. If you don't know, there are literal countries out there that play Axie Infinity for a living, and these guilds enable that. So we're going to go over the top gaming guilds across the gaming ecosystem and play to earn. I'm super excited to get into it. So without further ado, let's get in the game.
15 seconds. Hydrogen journal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't hit us, why is you here? But if you hit us, the moon is near. It's crypto built in our financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you gon' play, but ain't a percent. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto bent and not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you gon' play, but ain't here to play. If you get lost, show you the way.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. And let's start off with a project slash blockchain that we've been talking about on In the Game here for the last few weeks. And that is Axie's Ronin Blockchain. And I want to kind of talk about, because this blockchain is getting massive use case and massive, honestly, volume. When you take a look at the volume versus other layer ones and layer twos, at its peak in November, Ronin, a layer two product from Axie Infinity developer Sky Mavis, devoted solely to the Axie Infinity ecosystem, processed 560% more total transactions than the Ethereum blockchain. Now, this is back in November. That is absolutely crazy. And it is the second most transacted NFT blockchain by volume currently. And why is that big? Because the Ronin token is still not even available to trade. This project is going to be tradable here very, very soon. And you can farm for it on the Ronin website of Axie Infinity. And as you just see here, I'll refresh this for the most up-to-date stats. The Ronin blockchain, guys, is being used so heavily. 274 million total transactions, 10 million total blocks. There are almost 10 million total addresses using the Ronin blockchain. And as you see here, Ron is coming soon. This is going to be absolutely massive, guys, and it's starting to get that attention that it deserves. It's no longer under the table. It's no longer kind of like a secret to some, and those that were in the Axie Infinity ecosystem knew about Ronin for a while. But as we see here, it is now getting some publicity here from CoinDesk as the sidechain is bigger than many layer one blockchains by volume. So this is exactly why I am farming for the Ronin token. I think that this is going to be absolutely massive. And whenever you just kind of take a look at everything that they are putting together, I think it's a no-brainer that the blockchain powering Axie Infinity with so much transactions, with so much volume, this is a no-brainer in my opinion. And here's where you can farm for those tokens. You can either do the Axie and ETH pool or the SLP and ETH pool. The Axie one's definitely more stable, and this is going to be massive, guys. So I just wanted to point out, this is getting some real attention now. This was posted just this morning. So look out for the RON token. Make sure if you are farming for that RON token, you are taking advantage of getting your hands on that token before the public launch. And then I also wanted to kind of discuss SpinTop, a project that we have mentioned on this channel multiple times. It's one of my favorite lower cap projects. It is infrastructure. It has a couple of different plays within the project. And today they are thrilled to announce that their Gamepedia is live. So when you click on their Gamepedia, guys, I kind of liken this to IGN in traditional gaming. So IGN is kind of a one-stop shop to go and check out games and check out reviews, see gameplay, see what people are thinking about the game, get all the information you need. Well, the Gamepedia here for SpinTop is now live, and this is absolutely amazing, guys. Let's just click Illuvium, find out more. We'll go Illuvium, find out more. So it'll tell you what blockchain it's on here. As you see, Ethereum, it's in development. Illuvium, it's a strategy RPG metaverse, and it gives you an entire rundown, top to bottom, of the description of the game. It gives you videos, trailers, screenshots of the game. I think that this is going to be an absolutely massive platform, guys, for players who are looking for new games that need to go look up information on a game. It gives you the market cap, it gives you the price points, it gives you the trading volume. Everything about this platform looks super clean. And this is exactly what kind of they're looking to do. They want to be the one-stop shop for crypto games. And I think that they are on the right track with what they've put together here. And let's just click on an active game. So Defina, Binance Smart Chain, playable. Defina Finance, it is strategy and action. As you see here, the price, the market cap, the volume, all that good stuff. Play to earn anime style game that runs on blockchain technology. So in my opinion, this type of platform is very, very needed. Whenever there's so many games out there, eventually there needs to be a review platform. There needs to be an information source, and the Gamepedia looks to be that definite first mover for an IGN style platform on the blockchain. I think this is going to be absolutely massive, and it's very clean. I love the rollout that they've done here on this project and on the Gamepedia. And SpinTop has a lot more to come with their other elements of their project. At $19 million market cap and 32 cents, guys, I do think that this has a lot of value, especially when you look at the chart. They had a little bit of a token unlock here. I think it's a pretty healthy time to maybe consider this project at the low cap that it is, especially if the market does turn a little bit bullish. You're going to see projects in this low cap range that have a lot of utility. They have a multifaceted platform. I do think this is ripe for a good run up whenever the market does go bullish. And I think that is around the corner. I don't think that this downtime is here to stay necessarily, and especially for gaming. When a chart looks like this for gaming with a project that is building, I really think that that is bullish to potentially take a look at and maybe get involved when you're looking at these type of price levels. So I really like what they're building here at SpinTop. Their team is fantastic, and I really love that project. I just want to talk about this really quick, guys. This is absolutely crazy to me. So Bloomberg published an article, and they said video game companies should think twice about NFTs. So if you haven't heard, in the last week, GameStop is coming out with their own NFT marketplace to be able to transact items. And also Square Enix, the creators behind Final Fantasy, they are also implementing NFTs potentially into some games in 2022. There has been crazy public backlash, and you can just tell people have no idea what an NFT in the gaming world is going to do. It's so funny to me because it says, the prospect of easy profits is luring GameStop and other industry heavyweights, but the new marketplace's risks alienating customers. And if you were to read this, basically their whole argument is there's scams in the NFT space and that people don't understand NFTs. When in reality, the real scam is when players go into these games and literally spend billions per year. If you look at the stats on microtransactions, players are spending billions of dollars on items that they don't own. They are just giving these companies their money hand over fist for in-game assets that can be theirs whenever NFT games are in the fold. That is the whole point of NFT gaming, to have actual ownership of the items that you are playing to earn or that you are purchasing. When in reality, the cash grab in Web 2 is already well in place. All these projects that take your money for assets that you don't really own. So I just think the ignorance is hilarious here. This is a Bloomberg article. The prospect of easy profits. When in reality, the prospect of easy profits is what the gaming studios are already doing. They're already prying the cash from your pockets for assets that you don't own. It's just so funny to me that the Web 2 narrative behind NFTs and gaming. Marketplaces risk alienating customers. No, the marketplace risks empowering customers. These Web 2 gaming studios and Web 2 companies are scared to empower the players. So it's good to see whenever GameStop, Square Enix, Ubisoft, EA Sports, those guys are getting involved and they're at the forefront. They're all announcing they're coming out with NFT games. They're going to implement NFTs in their games, or they have mentioned that NFT gaming is the future. So you are very early if you are here right now. Traditional Web 2 gamers, a lot of them don't even understand NFTs yet and understand the asset ownership aspect. So just know, if you are here in crypto gaming as of January 11th, 2022, you are safely early based on the public response to a lot of these NFT gaming and big studios that are going all in on NFT gaming. Now, let's get into the bulk of the video, guys. So the last videos, we've talked about infrastructure. We have talked about games. Now, what is the third pillar of the gaming ecosystem? When you have infrastructure, the things that power games, you have games themselves. Well, let's get into the communities that are going to be absolutely taking part inside of these games with the in-game assets, and that is the guild economies. These guilds are connecting players and asset ownership and a DAO economy to be able to empower players and owners to earn in these games. So in my opinion, let's go ahead and take a look at what is the staple in the guild world right now. And that is Yield Guild Games, guys. Yield Guild Games, $355 million market cap, about a $4 billion diluted. This is definitely the top dog as far as market cap, as far as just prowess in the guild sector. They've definitely been around the longest. And when you take a look, community is at the core of YGG. They ended 2021 counting over 100,000 Discord members and over 10,000 Axie Infinity scholars between Southeast Asia, India, Latin America, Brazil, and Europe. And that's really where play to earn is the biggest. There are countries that are playing to earn for a literal living. Axie Infinity has empowered so many players in so many different countries to earn a living wage in their game. And these guilds are powering players to do so that might not have the financial resources to get involved themselves. So as you see here, I love the growth that they saw. And this just shows you why guilds are so big. By May, we had 1,000 scholars. And by November, we had onboarded more than 6,000. In the final week of 2021, YGG ramped up and hit a total of 10,000 Axie scholars, representing new players from over 10 countries. And by the mid-year, their scholars had accumulated over 10 million SLP, taking home 1 million in the month of June alone. And they have collectively generated over $13.6 million in SLP. So this is probably the staple of success for what these guilds are building behind. I mean, absolute crazy numbers, 21 game partners, 32 scholarship managers, and 10,000 Axie scholars. So in my opinion, this is definitely the staple in the guild industry right now. But then you trickle down into the other projects, which are really building something special. Let's go to Merit Circle. Merit Circle is a newer project. They are building something very, very solid, $158 million market cap. When you look at this chart, it's definitely getting down to those levels of, questioning whether or not you might want to take a look at investing. It was about $10 back in November during the bull market. It's really taken a hit here, but Merit Circle, they are building something very, very special with their decentralized autonomous organization. When you take a look at the total scholars, 1,200 scholars in Asia, Africa, South America, and Europe. 500 plus scholars this month and 5 million plus SLP earned. They have a very strong partner list. And I really think that this Twitter thread right here explains their offering very, very well. So their DAO is a for-profit organization to maximize value to accrue to all the participants. They participate in the Merit Circle with pre-seed investments into GameFi, in-game strategies with scholars, treasury management, and developing products in-house. So you can see there's success on the finance side of pre-seed investments. But I really like when you go down with the current market rate of about 3.1K a day. It will get more interesting if the same scholars will also play 2 or 3 more games in addition to Axie Infinity. As you see here, the DAO currently has around 2,750 active scholars with an average SLP earning of 150 SLP per day. The DAO charges a 30% fee for renting out assets, which comes down to 117,000 SLP daily. I do think they are building something very, very special here because it gives you a lot of ways to get involved. And you're not only involved in the in-game economy. Merit Circle is getting their DAO involved in pre-seed investments, which I think is really unique. And all in all, I think that their team is one of the stronger teams across the board when it comes to these guilds. Axie Infinity, Star Atlas, Illuvium. They're really stacking up quality games here for their community. And I think Merit Circle right now, and as far as market cap goes, for sure, it's that second in line behind Yield Guild Games. And I do think that this does have a lot of potential in the future, especially once other games come out. They expand their scholar count as well as just the amount that they are playing to earn within those economies. Let's get into the next project here. And that is GuildFi. We've talked about GuildFi here on this channel. The price has definitely taken some major swings. And in my opinion, GuildFi is one of the more bullish, lower cap in terms of the actual market cap. The diluted's pretty high. But in my opinion, GuildFi does still have some room to run, especially when you take a look at their platform. Not only are they backed by Animoca Brands, Dapper Labs, Coinbase Ventures, Alameda Research, so literally the top tier partners in the space, their offering is very, very unique, in my opinion, in the fact that you can have the player guild zone. So you'll have the GuildFi guild, the guild as a service, and the network. And this is for existing guilds and investors, including our own guild operation. You have the NFT zone. The MetaDrop Launchpad is one of their first offerings, where they will have a launchpad, as it sounds, for metaverse and gaming products to be able to get in on IGOs if you're within the GuildFi community. And then what I like the most here is the tools zone. So we developed one of the most advanced Axie Infinity tools in the market. Our tools serve both players, individuals, and guilds, and will feature as follows: scholarship management, so account management and payment management for guilds. So if, let's say you're a scholarship manager, let's say you have 30 scholars personally. Let's just say like you're running a personal scholarship program. GuildFi is actually going to give you the tools you need to go in here and manage your scholarships on their platform. You'll have a leaderboard, simulation, card explorer, game status. You'll be able to see how active your players are, how much they're earning off of each asset, etc. So in my opinion, their offering is very, very solid. Not to mention, the active scholars is very big when you're looking at these guilds, guys. And right now they have over 100,000 registered users, 25,000 daily actives, and 1,500 scholars within 3 months of inception. That is very, very strong. Not to mention the game economies they are looking to get involved in. They're forming partnerships in the top tier games across the entire space. Big Time, Pegaxi, Axie Infinity, Dayton Arena, Cyball, Sandbox, Cypher, Sin City. And they are still building. They are still partnering. GuildFi is implanting themselves in the biggest economies across the entire blockchain gaming space. And I do think that they have a lot of potential to really be maybe I don't want to say the biggest down the line, because their market cap definitely has a lot to go. But I think from what they are just building, I love what GuildFi is doing here, getting involved in all the biggest economies. And just recently, we've talked about Heroes of Mavia on this channel as well. They invested in Heroes and Mavia with a land sale and Mavia purchase worth $500,000. And that is a play-to-earn MMO strategy game by Scryce Studios. And this is basically the Clash of Clans of the blockchain. So in my opinion, GuildFi has so much going for it, with the backers from their offering to the games they're participating in. That 1,500 scholar number, I think, is going to balloon whenever you see games like Big Time, Sin City come out, because the player counts in those games are going to be massive, and they will have legit scholar economies within those games. So really looking forward to the future for GuildFi. I also want to talk about Good Games Guild, guys. Now, I want to point out, they literally had a token unlock this morning. I've been kind of hinting at this whenever we've talked about it, that on January 11th, they would have a token unlock. And as you see, pretty obvious token unlock here. So it has dipped quite a bit. And this thing has really been on a roller coaster. At the height of the bull run, it was at about $15. Now it's about $3. And with that token unlock, it really just took a pretty healthy dip there. But Good Games Guild has an awesome offering: apply to earn, rent to earn, and stake to earn. Their roadmap is right on track. And in my opinion, obviously very solid investors, but you look at the games they're partnering with, very, very solid economies. Pegaxi, Cyball, they do have active Axie Infinity scholars as well. They have a ton of games they are looking to get involved in. And the one thing about this, they're not only partnering with the biggest games, they are partnering with tons of smaller games that will have player bases that are still scholars, but might not have that opportunity in other guilds to maybe participate in these economies. So they're really spreading their chips around the blockchain as far as games they will be participating in, which I really love. You take a look at the current state of Good Guild Games. So they've been running for more than 5 months, where they have more than 400 active scholars and 100,000 guild members. We are expecting to recruit a minimum of 50 scholars per week. They have an esports team already slated to join their NFT marketplace. They have over 3.5 million SLP under management and 130 SLP average earned by scholars per day. And Good Games Guild's vision is to become the biggest guild in Southeast Asia, to create a play-to-earn game ecosystem for all members to grow and be the pioneers of metaverse development. So in my opinion, they're building something very, very special here. So what can you do on GGG? You can apply for scholarship programs. You can claim your reward splits. You can register to be a part of different game beta tests. You can track players' performance or your own performance. And then obviously you can withdraw your earnings on the GGG dashboard. So this is all part of the Good Games Guild offering. You also take a look at their recent partnerships they're putting together. They just partnered with MetaGods. We've talked about MetaGods on this channel, one of my favorite low cap games across the entire blockchain. Fantasy action RPG style game, dungeon crawler, pixelated graphics. I really think it looks really good. They also have partnered with games that are very active, like Pegaxy, like I've mentioned. And if you just scroll down, they're almost partnering with new games every single week, every other day. And I think that they are not done building. Good Games Guild has a lot down the pipeline. They recently partnered with Decimated as well. I really love their platform. And these are all just the top gaming guilds, the different type of offerings they're putting together, and trying to just kind of show you how many active scholars they currently have, what their plans are in the future to grow, and the economies they will be implanting themselves in the future. So let's get into and also Good Games Guild also just announced a launchpad. So as you see, a lot of these guilds are trying to get their economies involved in projects early, which I really like as well. Not a lot of people have access to these type of launch pads in different economies. But if you are a guild participant, if you hold enough of these guild tokens like GuildFi, Good Games Guild, or UniX, for example, they're all doing a launch pad. So you'll be able to actually go in there and get IGO allocations for your holdings on some of these tokens, which I absolutely love. UniX is one $11 million market cap right now. This thing's really taken a hit. And in my opinion, they're making top tier partnerships, but they have to get off of Uniswap. Uniswap is going to kill their asset because no one wants to transact those gas fees. If you're just an average investor, if you're putting, let's just throw out a number. If you're putting $500 into a project, but you have to pay $134 in gas, it's not worth your time. So in my opinion, UniX has to get off of Uniswap, in my opinion. But you take a look at their offering, it's very strong. They have a launch pad, they have staking, they have a guild, and currently they have almost 4,000 scholars under their program. They have 192,000 community members. You kind of take a look at the games on their front page here. They plan to be involved in a lot of these top games, and they are getting involved in a ton of top games, guys. They recently partnered with Big Time, Sin City, Dayton Arena, which has a complete active economy right now. So in my opinion, they are doing, honestly, UniX is doing a lot of the things right. They're checking a lot of the boxes. But right now, it's not the most accessible asset. That volume, 406,000, is kind of criminal for a project that is doing a lot. UniX is definitely building. They are partnering with top tier projects, but being on Uniswap, in my opinion, is the main factor. That this chart right here is just continuously sliding down. They really need an exchange listing to get this more accessible for retail investors. Because like I said, they have everything going for it. Staking, a guild with legit scholars, as well as a launch pad. I love what they're putting together, but I don't love the accessibility factor of the coin. So that's what I would love to see in the future, is them get some listings and make this more accessible for the retail investor who wants to get involved, but doesn't want to pay 20% of their investment in gas fees. And then I want to talk about the last guild that we're going to talk about today is Avocado Guild. And this one's really interesting, in my opinion. $35 million market cap. It's really been under the radar versus a lot of these different guilds right now. And when you look at what they're doing, they are backed by Animoca Brands, Three Arrows Capital, and QCP Soteria, some of the top tier investors in the gaming space, and especially in guilds. And when you look at the largest play-to-earn guilds, they are one of the biggest in the space already. We're considered the largest guild in the play-to-earn space with over 10,000 active scholars offered by Axie Infinity. And we have earned over 68 million SLP since we began in July 2021. So we've also partnered with top-tier play-to-earn games like Dayton Arena, Big Time, Cypher, Cyball, Rev Racing, which is an Animoca Brands car game. In my opinion, this is one of the more overlooked projects in the guild space. It's kind of new when you look at the trading of the token. This thing did kind of just go live here. When you look at the all chart, it went live here at the beginning of January, basically. And in my opinion, this is one of the more strong but not talked about guilds in the entirety of the space. I think that this is worth your attention. It is kind of sliding down since it did go live for trading, but with 10,000 plus active scholars on one game, I emphasize 10,000 active scholars on one game, and they do expand. They are going to expand to Cypher, Big Time, etc. I think that this is one of the, like I said, probably the most underrated and slept on guild in the space right now, especially with considering their backing and the amount of players they already have in their active economy. So that's going to do for the guild part of the video and the show. I wanted to go over the 6 top guilds in the space, in my opinion, some of their key differences, pros, cons, if there are any cons, as well as show you the games they're getting involved in and the scale of how many players are getting involved as well. So let's take a look at Seedify's launches this month, guys, because Seedify, as always, they are pushing out a lot of great projects. Today, they just had their Metastrike IGO, which did really, really well. If you don't know, Metastrike is a first-person shooter VR game. In my opinion, this looks very solid, and there's such a need for first-person shooters in the blockchain. The biggest games in the world, Valorant, Call of Duty, you take a look at other games like Counter-Strike. There are so many projects that are so successful in Web 2 gaming that are first-person shooters. First-person shooters are the biggest genre in the world behind like RPGs, for example. And in my opinion, this has a legit space to have a market. Like, people want to play shooters. Like Decimated's a third-person shooter. That will get a lot of playtime. And a first-person shooter like Metastrike, and they also have a third-person mode, as you can see here. I think that this is very, very strong. I'm looking forward to this project, and I don't know that the market cap when it goes live for trading is going to be too high. We don't have price data yet on it. We'll take a look at where the market cap stands when it goes live for trading. But if that market cap's, I don't want to make a guess here. If that market cap's under $10 million, I think that there could be some value still for Metastrike. When you're looking at a first-person shooter coming to the blockchain, I think that there's definitely some appeal to that. And then I want to talk about one of their upcoming IGOs on the 24th, and that is Animalia. It is a free-to-play online NFT trading card game. And if you know, Gods Unchained, we know, very successful, 75,000 weekly actives. So you take a look at this project here. When you take a look at Animalia, I'll turn down that volume. It is another fantasy NFT trading card game, and we know the success that Gods Unchained can have. So we know the success that a game like this, like Hearthstone, like Magic the Gathering, and it has a little more cartoony graphical appeal to it than Gods Unchained's sharp look. But I think that once again, this could potentially be a competitor to Gods Unchained. They have very good backing. The game looks pretty sharp. And in my opinion, this launch is going to do very well. It is crypto-inspired meme creatures and gemstones with unique graphics. You take a look at their backers. They have GD10 Ventures, Master Ventures, X21. They will be launching on Seedify, Banter Cap as well. So when you just, everything about this project, their team's fully doxed. They have a lot of development here. As you see, it will be on mobile, and I love that. I love that. They're already working on a mobile game. So in my opinion, you want to keep your eyes across the ball on active projects, but always, always, always look ahead to the upcoming projects. And I think Seedify is a great place to start. They are the top gaming launchpad in the entire space. And we're proud that they are a sponsor of this show. But in all legitimacy, they are the absolute best launchpad in the space. So when you're looking for those upcoming projects, this is definitely a place to look when you say the success of all their launches. But then you just kind of take a look at the projects they are launching soon. Like Heroes Chained looks really good too. We'll talk about Heroes Chained before it launches here in 5 days as well. But I think all of these games that they are launching, they definitely vet these projects very well, guys. Like Metastrike, the Parallel is going to be very solid. Bit Hotel, Mouse Hunt, Eartha, Citus. Like if you're getting involved in these IGOs, you're doing extremely well. And these are the type of projects you want to keep your eyes on in the future. So that's going to do it for me for today's show, guys. I just wanted to go over the top guilds in the space, a couple of news bits, as well as some upcoming launches on Seedify's Launchpad. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. We do in-the-game shows here 5 days a week. Like the video if you enjoyed the video, and so we can get this show out in front of more crypto gaming degens just like yourself. I am your host, Hustle. I'll be back tomorrow with another show, guys. Play well, my friends.